Hey guys, it's Emma here and I have my recent favourite read for August. So as always, I've got my Goodreads app here, so let's just get into it. So the first book I read, the first two books I read actually were from my Kindle Unlimited subscription. As you know, I always try and get the most out of that. And that was finishing off the Rockpool series of books that I'd started, I think, last month. So I read The Appearance of Mystery and The Island of Dragons. And that is it. I think there might be one more coming out, but I think there's 4 out at the moment, so that's that kind of finished off for just now. And then, I don't think I've done this before, but you can actually get comic books on the Kindle Unlimited subscription, like manga. I've done the manga before, but I never tried a comic before. So my Kindle is just a paperwhite, so everything's in black and white. I don't have colour, which is why I haven't really bothered looking into it before. But I figured, why not? Let's just give it a go and see if it's any good or not. I don't think I will read more books on my Kindle. Or comics on my Kindle. I just didn't really like it. The Kindle is only so big, and you can zoom in so you can see each panel instead of the whole page. But I didn't really like that either. I like seeing the whole thing, getting the whole picture with a physical copy. So I think I will just stick with physical for comics. I might read more manga, but I'll stick for physical for comics. But it was a kind of set of comics, so it was The Resistance, and that would be Volume 1, and Moths Volume 1, and they're kind of like the same people, made by the same people, and like in the same kind of universe. So I read them. That was again both on my Kindle Unlimited subscription. And then I was working through books on my, I think it was my sci-fi fantasy box of stories. So I read from that, I read Skyfarer, and I read Cold Storage, and Q, and Daughter from the Dark, and I think they were all from my sci-fi fantasy box of stories, because I'm like a month behind on them, so I'm still trying to get through them all to try and get back up to date again. And then I read something that I got in one of my Abominable Book Club packages, and that was the kind of like the magazine of short stories. So that was Black Static, volume 80 and 81. Then another thing from one of my Abominable Book Club boxes or bags or whatever you want to say was Demon, and that again is in a series of books called like the 6 Stories or something like that. And I got one of the previous ones in Abominable Book Club package as well, and I really enjoyed it. So this was one of the, I think it was like the latest ones. It's called Demon. And then I read some of my partner's manga. So I read Deadpool Samurai Volume 1 and Volume 2. Then another book from one of my, actually no, it wasn't a box of stories, this was Abominable Book Club as well, I think, is All the White Spaces. And then the last book I read was also from an Abominable Book Club package, and that's the Apparition phase. So back to reading quite a few things again this month. There was a couple that were great. There were ones that were not so great. But I think the one I'm going to go for my favourite, and it just is like over another one. So I'll tell you the runner up. Which I would also recommend, is The Apparition phase by Mclean. It was so good. It sucked me in. It was great. I might keep it. A lot of these books I'm reading I'm not keeping because I don't have space, so I'm reading them and then, unless I love them, I'm getting rid of them. But this might be a keeper. I'm not sure. But the one that I'm going to say definitely read, this was my favourite book of the month, was Cold Storage by David Koepp. I don't know how you pronounce the name. But basically it is a book about a virus. I love those kind of books. So not COVID, because no, I don't want to read stuff like that right now, but just random viruses. Like I think another favourite one had been that real book on, oh god, what was it on? It was, I can't remember, I don't think it was Ebola, but it was something like that, and it was really fascinating. But yeah, so this one is basically, it's made up, it's not real, thankfully, but it's about this virus that kind of can mutate and like it's crazy. It comes from like space or something, which sounds like really far-fetched, but it's, you know, it was like on something on a space mission, and from whatever reason it has like mutated and it's fallen back down to Earth, and it just wreaks havoc. It's just like you will not survive. You will not survive it. It can, like, if it goes on the bottom of your shoe, it can mutate to where it can like eat the rubber of your shoe, and then you get to like the next part of the shoe, and it can mutate so that it can like absorb the sole of the shoe, and it gets in you and you're done for. Some things will slow it down, which you see in the book. I won't give anything away, but that's really interesting, like the way they do that. But yeah, it's basically about, it kind of follows two groups of people mainly. So it's people who are like in the army and scientists that had discovered it like way back in the 80s or 90s or something, and till now they've thought that it was like contained in this bunker, basically underground, thousands of miles or whatever, like it's no one's gonna get to it. But in the intervening years up to now, like that facility has been sold by the government and bought by like a storage company that has, you know, like storage containers where you can store all your crap. So, but no one knows that that is also down there. So the story follows the army people, and now what they're trying to do to kind of like stop the spread of this deadly virus that you will not, if it gets out, we're all dead, basically. So it was really interesting. It was really exciting, obviously, as well. But also the descriptions of things were very squeamish. I was like, oh, wriggling about in my seat. So I think the writing is really good, basically. But yeah, it was describing how it's like gets in your brain, and then these things happen and things pop and explode. It was horrible but amazing. So yes, that is my favourite read for August, and I would definitely recommend it. Not if you're super squeamish and don't like things like that, don't read it because it's really like good in that respect. But yeah, that's definitely the one I would recommend. I thought it was absolutely great, so everyone should go out and read it. But that is it for this one, guys. Any comments, leave them down below. Share with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you next time, guys. Bye!